everybody all right?
I think so, but the biplane is in pieces.
We can't worry about that now. We have to get those crystals back.
Aloha everybody and welcome to part 15 of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. We are now in the final level of the whole entire game. We are in Lyric's Lair, and for some reason Lyric's Lair takes place on the grid from Tron. Specifically Tron Legacy. This looks like a level I would have played in that old Xbox 360 game, Tron Evolution. Like I'd be driving around on my light cycle here, but odd location. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is also the worst level in the whole entire game. As you can see by that force field that just projected behind us, you know, I have to fight all these enemies before I can move on to those bounce pads, and they just sprinkle in fight after fight after fight, and a lot of them feature the shield guys, the big heavy robot guys, and sometimes you'll fight 3 battles in one location just because this level is filled with so much padding, and it's like kind of exhausting and annoying after a while. This was the one level where I was just like, okay, I get it. I'm really tired of these fights. Can we move on to the boss now? Oh my god. There's a lot of fights you can just kind of run by in all the previous levels, but I stuck around to fight them so I could get the scrap metal and stuff. But with this one, no, they want you to fight. They want you to be very slow, and it's just kind of a really annoying level. Luckily, it's the last level. You know, I could still criticize lots about Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I still maintain that this is a mediocre, forgettable, below-average kids' adventure platformer. If I had to give it a score, I would give it a 4 or 5 out of 10, you know? It's still a game I can't recommend to adults or teenagers, and only to parents whose kids like the show enough that they really want to try it, you know? And chances are the kids don't watch Sonic Boom because Cartoon Network is terrible at airing that show, so you never have to worry about that, you know? Again, Rise of Lyric should be forgotten. It should be whatever. So when I hear people criticize Rise of Lyric, I'm fine, you know? I can hear people say it's a boring game. I agree. It's annoying to play. I can see that. I understand why you'd say that. I don't think it suits Sonic. I get that. I get that. But then there's one thing people say that still gets under my skin. And I know it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't because I'm 30 years old and it really shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but it still does. And the thing is, people like to call this one of the worst Sonic games ever made. That makes me raise an eyebrow, but I'm just like, alright, if you say so. And then people start saying things like, this is just as bad as Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. This game is worse than Sonic 06. This game makes Sonic 06 look like a work of art. And you know, I don't just hear that from like commenters, I'll hear that from like YouTube content creators when they're actually doing reviews on Rise of Lyric. I will hear them say it belongs in the same league as Sonic 06, that it's truly just as bad, just as awful as that really, really, really terrible game that I had a really frustrating time with over 12 years ago, and there's something inside my brain that just snaps, and there's something inside my skin that just goes like, what? What? And that's why I get into so much defense mode with a game this mediocre and this forgettable, because when I hear shit like that, I just 1,000, 10,000, a million times disagree with that statement in almost every conceivable way imaginable. So I'm gonna drop the passive aggression, okay? I'm gonna drop the passive aggressive comments, and I'm just gonna explain it right here and now, folks, okay? No, I don't think this game is as bad as Sonic 06, and I find the comparisons fucking gross. I find the over-exaggeration of how bad Rise of Lyric is to be so, like, unfair and so, like, not accurate at all. And it just makes me wonder, like, how have people really forgotten? Like, I know it's been 12 years, and it's been, like, 6 years since my review of it. I did a 3-hour review on it, where I went into every single detail about what I hate about that game, and it's like, has it really been so long that you just don't remember Sonic 06? Do you not remember what that game had as problems? And you just think, like, Rise of Lyric's boring, so therefore, like, oh my god, no. I could list a million things wrong with Sonic 06. How about the frequent load times? How about the frequent load times where literally, as soon as the game starts up, they drop you in a city, and then you find Tails. Load. A cutscene happens. Load. And now you have to go and do the shopkeeper mission. Load. I want you to help me. Load. Like, it literally just loads a sentence. You know what I'm saying? You do the mission and it loads. There are load times in between Sonic levels. So even if for some reason you get some satisfaction out of the Sonic levels, I don't know why you would have that masochistic opinion, you still get interrupted by loading screens and bad Tails gameplay and bad Knuckles gameplay. Let's talk about Knuckles and Rouge in Sonic 06. How about the fact they can't get off walls when they climb them? And this is not like an exaggeration. Like, I'm talking when you play as Rouge in Sonic 06 and you go to Kingdom Valley, you climb a wall, and like 95% of the time, you can't jump off that wall really easily. You're going to be mashing A, watching Rouge go, hut, 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 as she tries to get off the wall. And that's like, that shouldn't ever be in that state, you know? That is something that you go to like quality assurance and be like, oh, that happened? Okay, then we'll fix that up immediately. And we have to fix that up before the game releases because that's a huge, huge problem. And not, we don't have time. We have to release it anyway. Fuck it. Fuck the consumer, you know. There's a snowboarding level in Sonic 06 where, like, the physics just don't work. You'll be going down the hill and then Sonic will stop. And you move left on the control stick, nothing happens. You move up on the control stick, nothing happens. You start moving the control stick all around. And then finally Sonic kind of angles to the right or he angles to the left. And it's like the snowboarding physics are just fucked. They're just stuck in this weird fucking limbo where nothing works, you know? When I think of the control of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, I don't get stuck on walls when I'm climbing them with Knuckles. When I was riding in those water vehicles and shooting down those turrets, or I was in, you know, fighting those squid kitty robot machines like in part 15. No, we're in part 15. It was part 12. They worked fine. There were no control issues. You know, when I'm platforming with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy in this game, whatever, it feels fine. It's not like I'm dealing with these awful rail grinding controls or these awful friggin' just horrible hit detection stuff, and it's baffling. But again, the loading times. There's load times in Rise of Lyric, sure, but like you load up an area and then you never have to load up again. When you're doing side quests for NPCs, it doesn't just load to tell you what they want you to do. It's fine. It's fine. You load one time for a level. I loaded one time for Lyric's Lair, and for 30 minutes of gameplay, I'm not going to see another loading screen ever again. There's no loading problem with Rise of Lyric. But with fucking Sonic 06, they make you do side quests like the Trials of Soliana, which some of them have a mission condition that's like, oh, if you get hit once, you have to redo it. And that means you have to sit through another 4 loading screens. 4! Because you have to get the loading screen to tell you you failed, you have to get the loading screen to go back to the hub world, you have to get the loading screen to get the question again, and then you get the 4th loading screen to even attempt the mission again. And you know, that's hilarious, isn't it? That's hilarious. That's so fun when you're in a Twitch stream or a YouTuber and... Well, okay, let me get this out of the way, right? People will say, but Clement, Rise of Lyric is just boring. Sonic 06 is so bad that it's funny. Yeah, you're laughing at its ineptitude. You're laughing at what a terrible job it is and what a disaster of a video game it is. That's the funny part, you know? Like, I'm glad you all have memories of YouTubers that you like. Maybe you watched the Game Grumps and saw them freak out in Flame Core, and you're like, ha ha ha, I'm always gonna remember that because this game's so terrible. And I'm glad you have that memory, you know? I'm glad you watched my review from 6 years ago that was 3 hours long, and you had lots of fun moments where I put Mario Party music over the hang glider segment and stuff like that. I'm glad you have that weird YouTuber affection for Sonic 06. That you think all of those moments, you think about all those funny moments, and you're like, that's what I remember about Sonic 06. But it's like you remember content creators. You remember what other people have done with that material, you know? You're not remembering the actual game itself. Flame Core, without the Game Grumps, is just a boring, annoying level with bad lighting, and like really frustrating elements, and it's just like, that's not funny on its own. That's not something you play by yourself in your basement with no Twitch stream, with no internet connection, with nothing to look at from the outside world, no podcast to listen to, and you play Sonic 06 for fun. Like, that's a weird thing that I just do not relate with at all. I do not play Sonic 06 for fun, because most of that game is just as boring as Rise of Lyric. For the people who are like, oh, Rise of Lyric's boring, well, have you played Silver's playthrough? What about Silver's playthrough is super exciting and super hilarious? The combat with Silver is so bad. You have to find boxes every single area just to be able to attack things, because Silver doesn't have a proper homing attack or a punch or anything. I would rather beat things up in Rise of Lyric where I have a punch button and stuff than whatever the hell Silver the Hedgehog's supposed to be. And, oh yeah, that aquatic-based level, that's so fun with Silver. That's the funniest thing in the world. It's so exciting. It's in no point is it boring, is it? No. Like, you think going through the dusty desert level with Shadow isn't boring? You think all of these things isn't boring? It's so long. Rise of Lyric is a shorter game than Sonic 06. You have to go through so many campaigns of nothingness where, okay, Tails has to go through Wave Ocean again. Why? I don't know. It's not a particularly fun level. It's not exciting to watch. It's just boring. It's so miserable. But you all want to pretend it's not boring, and that's just, like, baffling to me. There are so many boring parts of Sonic 06 that are not funny on their own, and there's a reason most people go back to play Sonic and they don't play Shadow or Silver's campaigns, because you know they're boring. You know they're miserable. You know there's no fun to be had with that shit. You know... And again, I know I'm a 30-year-old gamer guy who really should have let this shit go by now. I told myself I would never reference Sonic 06 ever again past the review unless I absolutely had to. And with Sonic Generations, I had to, because there's a Sonic 06 level in it. And I said my piece during that level, and that was it, you know? But with Rise of Lyric, people always just want me to believe that... People always want me to believe that, like, 06 is the better game, that Rise of Lyric is so much the worst game, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? I think about all the thoughtful level design that goes into Rise of Lyric, something where they tried and failed, you know? They were trying to make a competent game, but it didn't quite work out. And then I think of, like, the god-awful, atrocious stuff in Sonic 06, where, hey... If Silver the Hedgehog catches you at a wall, guess what? You're stuck, because there's no invulnerability period. And you might bounce into your own ring every time Silver throws you against that wall, and then you're soft-locked into the fight, because isn't that great boss design? The fact that you have to constantly keep moving the camera to see where Silver is, and then when he fucking pins you up against the wall, guess what? Game over. You lost your life, because there's no way you can come back from that. The game doesn't have a proper autosave system, so if you die to Kingdom Valley without saving beforehand, then you have to redo, like, 3 annoying, long Trials of Soliana with, like, 12 loading screens sprinkled out between them, and God! I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I hear people say that. There's a reason I did a Let's Play of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric and not a look at. Because a one-shot video doesn't really show you the game design. It doesn't really show you what the levels are like when you're just going through them. Look, I've said this level's the worst level in the game because the combat's a bit much, but is it really, really the most awful thing ever that you're watching right now, you know? I'm solving puzzles. So what? You solve puzzles in lots of adventure platformers, you know? The simple basis that it doesn't play like a Sonic game should not be enough to consider it one of the worst games ever. I feel like you're putting it on this huge pedestal when you start saying it's worse than Sonic 06 just because, I had a boring time with Rise of Lyric. In 06, I have so many memories of awful, awful things. I have rose-tinted glasses about the time that Sonic kissed a human princess, because that was so dumb. Yes, it was dumb. Yes, it was dumb. That's the point. That's why we remember it, because it was so terrible. You know, at the end of part 3 of that Sonic 06 review, I commented on so many things that were frustrating me about the game. You know, the ball puzzle, Sonic horrible snowboarding physics, Knuckles and Rouge getting stuck on walls, the loading screens, you know. all of these things that just put me in such a bad mood when I played it as a kid, as an 18-year-old in 2006. And I was like, I made that part specifically to shut down any of the Sonic Labyrinth is worse. Sonic and the Secret Rings is worse. Sonic Chronicles is worse. Like, I don't care. Look at this. Look at this garbage fire that I'm playing. Look at all this terrible design. Look at all these frustrating elements. You know, I guess I'm just so tired of this false equivalency stuff where nobody wants to think critically about comparing the level design, comparing the boss fights, comparing these things. They just go with their base instinct that, like, it was boring and it's not what Sonic should be, so therefore that game that's, like, really, really terrible has to be better just because it resembled a Sonic game. Yeah, it copied Sonic Adventure. It was lazy when it just copied Sonic Adventure and did that whole beach and a whale chasing you thing all over again. Wow, so inspired. It's like... you know, the game just gets under my skin in a way that, like, no other game does, and I truly do hate Sonic 06, and I'm sorry that it just brings out this mean-spirited, sarcastic, cynical, passive-aggressive side out in me. I don't want that side out of me to come out and show up in videos, but it really does just get under my skin. You know, I think there's a big difference for me. I think boring is often subjective, you know? Boring is something that can easily be subjective to all the people that you tell whatever is boring, you know? Like, I could say Rise of Lyric is boring, and some people might enjoy it, some people might hate it. I could say other things are boring, and some people might have a completely different reception to it. For example, look, Christopher Nolan, great movie director, I love Memento, I love Batman Begins, I love The Dark Knight. I thought The Dark Knight Rises was boring as hell. But, you know, I'm not going to say that The Dark Knight Rises is a worse movie than Tommy Wiseau's The Room, even though I do actually prefer watching The Room over Dark Knight Rises, but I still acknowledge that it's a worse fucking movie, you know what I'm saying? I don't say that The Room is better than Dark Knight Rises because I found Dark Knight Rises boring. I equate Sonic 06 with me to frustration, and I'd rather be bored. I'd rather have a calm, comfortable time where the level design doesn't offend me. It doesn't do anything so outlandish and crazy that I'm just like, what were they thinking? At no point with Rise of Lyric was I going, what were they thinking? I was just like, oh, that didn't work. I'm sorry that failed. Oh, that could have been better. That's mostly all the things I think about with Rise of Lyric. Whereas with 06, I'm constantly thinking, what the fuck were they thinking when they designed this? And I'm getting mad at 06. And I don't want to get mad when I play a video game. I don't get mad when I play Rise of Lyric. When I play Rise of Lyric, this game is so easy. This game holds your hand the entire way through, and the puzzles are so simple. Oh, I wonder if I have to go to the lit-up blue block, and then go to the next lit-up blue block. Oh, wow, this puzzle's really hard, you know? But I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, whatever. It's platforming. I gotta dodge the laser. It's just a thing for me to do because I'm playing a video game right now because I'm bored and I have nothing better to do. Whereas 06 is actively punching me in the nuts for wanting to give this Sonic the Hedgehog game a chance. It's actively pissing me off with the awful, awful design of everything and making the Sonic fan base, sorry, the Sonic franchise as a whole so much lower with its inferior quality. Like, oh my god. I once heard someone in my comment section say that 06 looks better than Rise of Lyric graphically. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, it had a cool opening CG cutscene. Wow! Yeah, it's not like the animation of the characters in the cutscenes of Rise of Lyric isn't better. You like that human Eggman? You like the fact that Sonic is less expressive than he was in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2? Yes, even Sonic Adventure 1, because at least in Sonic Adventure 1 he went, whoa, and his fucking face morphed, and in Sonic 06 his face doesn't even fucking move! My god, I hate Sonic 06! God, no! No! So, I just wanted to make this part to explain this, you know? I have so many things I could rail about. There's a reason I did a Let's Play and not a one-shot video. I wanted you to see the level design in action. I wanted you to see the worst game ever in action. You know, a game that could be compared to Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, because totally Sub-Zero's a better game than Rise of Lyric, right? Yeah, I'm sure you've all grown up with terrible games if you think this one's terrible. I get passive-aggressive, and I'm sorry. This is going to be one of the most embarrassing videos of mine. I know it will be, but, I stand by my statement, God damn it. I hate Sonic 06. I hate it so much. I just hate it. From now on, I'm never going to reference Sonic 06 ever again. If a worse game than Rise of Lyric comes along and people start saying, it's as bad as 06, it's worse than 06, if I agree, I'll make a review on it. I'll make an 8-part, a million-part review. If I don't, I won't say a word.
I like bounce pads.
Yes, Knuckles, you do. You so do.
Oh man, they never give up.
Take that! I closed the door. I did something! I closed the door! Was that good? Did I do good?
Yeah, we're best friends.
You guys are getting quite annoying. If you want to stop me, come out and face me.
Well, folks, Lyric is challenging us for one big final battle, and when we come back in part 16, we're going to end this playthrough once and for all. But yeah, this part, I just wanted to get all that off my chest. Just wanted to get that all out there. Whew. Oh my god. I guess if I can say a positive about Sonic 06 is that it made me do a review for it, and then my current girlfriend discovered me through that review, and then we found each other, and now we're together. And that's great. I wouldn't trade that for the world. Anyway, folks, the end of Rise of Lyric in the next part. See you then.